So I'm gonna keep this as short as possible because in the grand scheme of things, we've all got better things to do than listen to some Randy on YouTube talk about how a moving drawing helped him for 5 minutes or so. Generally, of course, this video was more or less thanking Kiara specifically and directly. I don't really have the money for a pricey super chat, and what I wanted to say wouldn't fit in there to boot. I recognize that even if Kiara does ego search, the relative smallness of my channel and lack of uploads would likely be skipped out on her search results anyways. And I'll be content with this video fading into obscurity and go about my business. Though if she does happen to listen in on this, hey, hi, how are ya? If you're short on time, I'll give you the too long didn't watch version. You've been an inspiration to me personally since you've talked about the inklings of your past and given me a renewed spark of motivation that I thought I used up years ago. I am truly glad that for what you are doing now, you find to be a blessing. I hope it stays that way. Thank you for being yourself. If someone happens to be sticking around for the longer version, the whole idea of this being super weird champion doesn't fly past me. Randomly getting a mental boost from some woman on the internet who uses a 2D avatar to communicate to thousands of others is definitely a strange situation. Hell, I don't even watch anime anymore, and I've always hated the idol phenomenon, but I somehow fell for these maroons.
No shit, Sherlock.
Damn, what kind of stupid are you?
Fuck your friend.
You little piece of shit, shut up. Let me just move my giant ass.
Honestly, I still don't know why. But it happened, and I can't deny that. So I'm here to tell that story. Sorry if this gets a little heavy, but Kiara's reflections on how she gave up on her previous dream really hit home for me. Between the two of us, we've obviously had very different pasts, but I too know what it's like to commit 120%, go beyond what you thought you were capable of, and still fail all the same. After that, I thought it was over. If my absolute best isn't good enough for the thing I wanted most, what can I even accomplish? My mind went something like this. About 2 years ago, I had an incredible opportunity bestowed upon me. Without going into details, someone said they saw something in me that he didn't see in a lot of other people. He praised my intelligence, thought I was a hard worker, and he respected my opinion. But I couldn't believe it. I told him over and over again that he's got the wrong guy. That he didn't know how much of a failure I was or how much of my previous drive had been lost. Evaporated like a spilled canteen in the desert sun. I did, eventually, take him up on the opportunity, as I thought I'd be a fool not to. But because of my previous failures, I never felt like I should trust myself or think that I know better than anyone. I self-doubted. I rejected the very notion of any progress I could make because it would end up being futile in the end, just like everything else I tried. But ever since I heard Kiara talk about her own story, I'm starting to feel that drive I had come back, little by little. Day by day, I'm feeling more energetic and focused, even though it should be really the other way around. Playing devil's advocate of a viewer here, but Nova, don't you know that she could use a fake personality? That your reinvigoration was spurred on by putting on an act to appease chat to get money? A marketing ploy by an idol company meant to reinvent the wheel on parasocial communication to lure in lonely 20-somethings to spend money on a pretty 2D moving picture by noticing the distinct increase in social isolation that our society has progressed towards, which was only exacerbated by a global pandemic the likes of which has not seen in 100 years? What say you now?
Drowning in the introspection he couldn't even spell, he grasped at answers. And then, as it all went black, he found one.
Who cares, baby?
I'm already 4 dimensions ahead of you, buddy. Of course I recognize that. Even if all that is the case, it doesn't make Kiara's story any less endearing. Besides, I've said and done cringier things in the past. This is a drop in the bucket. We all put on a mask at our day jobs. It's what we get to see behind the mask when it willingly or accidentally it slips and we get an inkling of the real person, which is what counts. And it's what impacts us as humans the most. I'd like to remind people that inspiration and hope can come from strange places, but that doesn't mean those feelings are any less valuable. Just, try not to be too weird about it, yeah? As far as me, I still got 2 tricks up my sleeve. Maybe a third. And one is proving fruitful. I've made $2,000 on the stock market in the last 3 months on quite a low budget. Editor's note, I do recognize that retail traders are extremely leveraged here, and it's quite possible we're in a bubble. I'm monitoring that. My unexpected success does not come without its caveats. The other is a kid's book that I will write, and I'll leave a small thanks to Kiara when it's written. I'm truly glad this whole Hololive thing has brought you happiness, and that your story did not end. Many of us don't have a happy ending like that, but it's always nice to see another one that does. I know there's a lot of work behind the scenes that none of us see. Relating it just to the mild success of my previous YouTube stint, every hour we see of you, 15 hours is spent preparing for you to see us. Keep it up, but don't burn yourself out. Unless you are biologically predisposed to run on a few hours of sleep, you will hit a wall after several years. We wouldn't want to see a phoenix have its fire extinguished early, right? Play the long game. You got this. I'm not going to sabotage myself again. Not now, and neither should you. Please remember that your fanbase really enjoy who you are and smile every time you succeed, and sometimes laugh when you fail. Kikiriki, you compassionate and caring bird.